Last Saturday, that competition, that cheer competition, I videoed, live streamed for 4.5 hours.
Really?
The whole thing. And there's been like 500 views on it already.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, this game's getting interesting.
Yes, it is.
Our luck could be about a 3 overtime game.
Hello, one viewer on YouTube.
Dave, I know who's got your slippers.
It is pajama night for the Carterville Crazies.
Well,
and it looks like they're all wearing their onesies. I think maybe it's onesie night.
Now, we're not doing anything like that this year, are we?
You can if you want.
I think I might be sick that night.
Hey, Carterville got the ball back. 19. You gotta go. Foul. Oh.
Why did that kid foul? That was stupid.
Oh. Come on, Tyler.
Dennis Dresslock, you got to be kidding me.
Yes! Timeout.
Hey, if this was the NBA, they'd get it at half court.
Yeah.
I've never understood that rule.
I don't understand
ever
the rules in the NBA. Not a fan.
Not either. I'm not either.
I will watch the finals only because I feel like I have to watch the finals.
Yeah.
But I will. It is not appointment TV. I will not sit down. Now, if Golden State is on and I'm flipping through, I'll stop and watch a little bit of Golden State because I do like Curry.
Mm-hmm.
But not that I'm gonna. I don't record them. I don't.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know. I just can't. I mean, I like college basketball, but I cannot get into the NBA. It's just.
They got time to get a shot off. Look for number 2 to shoot it. No, 32 rather. Late. 48-47. Hey, Dante, we can go on and roll the intro. After this commercial, you can run it.
Good.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Carterville High School on a Friday night where the Carterville Lions are just getting back into the second round, or the second half, Scott, of the conference season in the Mississippi Division of the River to River. And tonight, it's my opinion, this is a good time to take on these Quoin Indians.
Yeah, Quoin has lost 3 of their last 4 games, although those 3 losses have come to some pretty good teams. Waterloo-Jabot, which Carterville knows all about, Madison, and then one of the top teams in 1A in the state, Oakville. So they've played some tough competition in their last 4 games, but coming off a very disappointing performance, or I should say performances, at the West Frankfort Midwinter, I'm sure the Carterville Lions are looking to get back into the swing of things and get a big conference win here tonight at home against Quoin.
It absolutely is, and man, what a miserable midwinter classic it turned out to be for the Carterville Lions, as they wind up only winning 1 of their 4 games, and they were pretty soundly defeated in those 3 losses that they had there. Of course, there was the 52-50 overtime loss to West Frankfort, but that was a game that, truthfully, they shouldn't have lost. Fundamentals is what cost the Lions 2 of those games. Actually, now that I think about it, actually all 3 of the games. And but it was back on December 9th when the Carterville Lions traveled up to Perry County to take on the Indians. The Carterville Lions come away with a 57-50 win. Brendan Beasley had 22. Taylor Heil wound up with 12 rebounds in that game. It was a good performance by the Lions the first time they met.
Yeah, no question. And that was the big win for Carterville at that point in the season, because it was the first road win in conference, which kind of propelled them to bigger and better things. Of course, later in December, they got the big road win at Nashville. But for Carterville, coming off a lackluster performance in the midwinter, there's going to be times where, as an individual or as a team, you're not going to shoot well from the field. I mean, there's going to be games where you just don't shoot well. There's also going to be times where you don't shoot free throws very well, and those are the games where you have to fight through adversity. You have to find other ways to win games. And I think with Coach Hawkins, we talked to him, after the Carroll game. We talked to him after every game up there, but especially after the Carroll game, I think he was really upset with his team's performance. And it's all about hard work. As long as you're working hard, good things will happen more times than not. Anybody can play good defense. Anybody can, block off on the boards. It doesn't take, a super skilled person to come out and give a great effort. I think that's what Coach Hawkins was really upset about. He thought the effort wasn't there against Carroll, and it was really just kind of a microcosm of the way the whole tournament had gone for the Lions.
We're having some technical difficulties trying to get our coach's interview that I had just a few minutes ago with Coach Hawkins to actually email, but I can tell you what he said. And we talked about this, he and I talked about it after the Carroll loss last week. The most frustrating thing to Coach Hawkins is the fact that games ought to be the easiest night of the week for this Lions team, because their practices are brutal. They are up pace, they are up tempo, and he every time I talk to him, he'll say, we had good week of practice, and he'll tell you if you've had a bad practice too. But good week of practices, and his frustration comes from the fact that it doesn't carry over from the practice floor to the game floor. And that's where he really struggles with this team. And fundamentally, man, it's just been a killer with turnovers in the front court, in the offensive end, not getting the hustle plays, not getting on the floor, digging after it. I mean, that's what Hawk wants, and by gosh, he's going to get it. He's going to get it, or he's going to find somebody that's going to give it for him.
Yeah, I think he kind of hinted last week after the Carroll game that there might be some starting lineup spots that are available, depending on who wants them the most. And it's all about hustle. It's all about playing hard. Again, you can have bad shooting nights, off shooting nights, but the hustle should always be there. And you talked about the hard practices. They've had a very tough schedule. Those are two things that usually make a team better. But as you said, if it doesn't translate from practice to game night, then there's a problem there. And hopefully in the last 6 days since Carterville's played, they've worked on some things, both physically and mentally, that will have them prepared to play Quoin tonight.
Well, I talked to another coach in the arena tonight, and he said, Listen, what the Carterville Lions are going through, every team goes through. It just depends on when it happens in the season, and what you would hope, you're going to have these fundamental issues at the beginning of the season, your first few games. But what Carterville's struggling with is they're dealing with it here with, 8 games, 10 games left in the season. You should be on an incline, making your way toward the regionals.
And I think what's really frustrating for Coach Hawkins and fans alike and broadcasters, I'll throw us into that. I'll throw us into that basket of deplorables, so to speak. But I think one thing that's frustrating is you look at this Carterville team. They're not void of talent. I mean, there are high school basketball teams that just don't literally have the physical talent, whether it be size or it be quickness, to be competitive most nights. That's not the case with Carterville. They've got the 2 twin towers on the inside of Ford and Heil. They've got guys on the outside who can shoot the ball like Beasley and Moore, Johnson, and Jackson. So that's what's frustrating, when the pieces are there and it just doesn't seem to come together.
On the positive side, whenever they have everything going, they are a blast to watch. Man, they push the ball up the floor. They'll kick it. They'll get it down low. Luke Ford has become one of the best big men in Southern Illinois. His footwork is incredible. We'll talk about Luke Ford. It's been a dandy week for Luke Ford, but we'll do that as we go through this evening. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by the Bank of Carbondale's Carterville Banking Center. The Bank of Carbondale offers a variety of business and personal banking services, including checking accounts, online banking, and mobile banking. For more information, stop by the Carterville Banking Center, or you can visit their website, tboc.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We will take our first break of the broadcast. When we come back, we're going to continue on our pregame show. We'll set up our starting lineups, and we are about 6.5 minutes away from tip-off as the Quoin Indians are here to take on the Carterville Lions. You're listening to Lions Basketball on NewsRadio WJPF. Let's go 2 minutes here, Dante, 2 minutes. And also remember, there may be times where you hear my mic drop out like this. Most of the time, it is me just turning down the volume on my mic. If you don't hear anything from me in the middle of the game call, then you know we got a problem. You can shoot me a text if we have any issues. No, we're good on this end, I think. Buddy, I can't hear you. I can hear you saying something. I just can't make out what you're saying. There you go. That's better.
All right. I'm having difficulty hearing you. I got the cue up, so I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me good now?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, I had my mic turned down, so. Go on and bring it back after this one. Back in Carterville, it's Dave McKenzie along with Scott Hudson, where we are awaiting the tip-off of the Carterville Lions as they host the Quoin Indians. This is game 2 between these two teams, and it was back in December 9th that the Lions traveled up and came away with a 57-50. That was a hard-earned win for the Lions. It was a physical game for both teams, and Carterville came away with a big win.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything different tonight. Carterville had 2 14-point leads in that game. Both times, DuQuoin cut that lead to 4. Carterville was able to hit some big free throws down the stretch to hang on. But one player DuQuoin will not have tonight that they had in that game is 6'6" freshman Lamonte Doherty. He's got a foot problem. He is out tonight. So what would have been a defensive problem for Carterville in the game tonight, because Doherty plays more like a guard and a forward. He doesn't even play on the inside. He can handle the ball like a guard, so that would have meant that probably Heil would have to come out on the perimeter and guard him. But now with Doherty out of the game, Carterville really doesn't have to worry about that. But I do not expect anything but hard work from this Justin Barrington coach team tonight.
I agree, and in that first game, Lamonte Doherty, he had 15 points, and man, he would take the ball right down the paint and stop about 5 feet short of the rim and just lay it up and over, and they were there all night long. But he is out with a foot injury. I saw him in passing earlier. I asked him, I said, how you doing? What's your expected return? And it's like he's building a house. He said 2 weeks. and so it makes you wonder if the doctors have said 2 weeks all along. Hey, for Carterville tonight, I just want to hit on a couple of things. I mentioned earlier about Luke Ford. What a week it's been for Luke Ford. And everybody knows we talk about him. I call him Superman. Of course, he's one of the top tight ends in our region, but you may not realize that Luke Ford of the Carterville Lions is one of the top tight ends in the country. And that is starting to show itself as this week he has received a full scholarship ride from Arkansas, Oklahoma State. Lovie Smith flew in to Carterville today and came and offered a scholarship. How awesome would it to see Luke Ford play at the U of I with Lovie Smith?
Yeah, and also teams that have contacted him, Michigan, Ohio State, Clemson, Florida, and the Naval Academy. I mean, that's a who's who of college football right there.
And he doesn't even have to declare for another year.
No.
That's the amazing thing. We're going to go on and take another break. When we come back, we're going to have our starting lineups. It's Lions basketball on NewsRadio WJPF.
When it comes to banking, take care is the change you want to make. I'm Jeff Speed, Market Executive.
Keep it through the anthem, please. Should be about 3 commercials.
Services and have 25 Southern Illinois branches to serve you. Banterra Bank, proud supporter of Southern Illinois high school sports. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Network.
No job is too big or too small for Charlie. Except their preferred service agreement for any home. Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating is a certified company with
Bring it back to us. Back at Carterville High School, it's Dave McKenzie and Scott Hudson, where we just had the national anthem this evening. The Carterville Lions are preparing to take on the Quoin Indians, and Carterville comes into this game this evening with a 11-9 record. They're 4-1. What a great first half of the conference season the Lions had, Scott, and we like to see that continue as we have a special presentation out at midcourt right now. Last night, the Carterville Lady Indians got a huge win over 7th-ranked Nashville Hornets. And Megan Barrett, the point guard for the Carterville Lions, She needed 7 points for 1,000. She got it on free throws in the third quarter. And head coach Matt Crane is out there. Carterville is presenting her with the basketball to commemorate that 1,000th point. It was a big night. And Megan is going to come up and join us on our halftime show this evening. Scott, we're going to have a chance to talk to her for a couple of minutes and say congratulations.
Yeah, it's a great accomplishment for anybody to get 1,000 points. And just one of the important cogs in that Carterville girls basketball team that they could be a force come postseason time.
She absolutely is, and she is not afraid to take that ball in the paint, and that's how she's gotten most of her shots, and they're recognizing Megan here this evening. This Lions broadcast, it is brought to you by the Ike family of dealerships. The Ike family of dealerships, Ike Honda and Ike Volkswagen of Marion, proud supporters of your Carterville Lions. Of course, tonight Carterville taking on the Quoin Indians in conference play. Tomorrow night, we're going to be right back here at home, and the Benton Rangers come rolling into town.
Yeah, Carterville played Benton in the Dexter Thomas Hoops Classic, and that didn't go well for the Lions as Benton made 8 threes in the first half to kind of seal the deal by halftime. But Benton is playing a very, very important conference game tonight at home against Heron, so you have to think that maybe, obviously that's the most important game to them this weekend. Maybe they come here tomorrow night, win or lose. Maybe they kind of look past Carterville. Maybe Carterville could sneak up on them and get the win.
The starting lineup for the Quoin Indians is being presented right now as Quoin is in their road red jerseys and the black lettering, which is nice for us to see. Caleb Vogel, the 6'3" forward guard, the senior, wears number 15. You have Braden Heap, the 6'4" fresh senior forward, wears number 50. Also, Ashton Smith, the 5'10" junior guard, wears number 5. Then you have Shamar Adams, the 5'10" sophomore guard. And finally, you have Elliot Gross, wears number 13. He is the 5'10" junior guard. And, of course, as we mentioned earlier in the pregame show, Lamonte Doherty, the 6'6" freshman, outstanding ball player, is out with a foot injury and will not be playing here tonight. For your Carterville Lions, they are going to have a 5'10" senior guard. Blake Jackson wears number 3 at one guard position. Also, Justin Johnson, number 5, wears, the 6'2" junior at the second guard position. Brendan Beasley will not be getting the start tonight for the Lions, so he will be replaced in the lineup by sophomore guard number 20, Dylan Moore. You also have Luke Ford, the 6'7" junior forward at one forward position, and Taylor Heil, who is 6'6", wears number 50. Let's give some props to Taylor Heil as well, selected to the West Frankfort Midwinter Classic All-Tourney team.
Well deserved. I mean, he was the most consistent of all the Lions in that tournament. He's a beast on the boards. He's going to get you a double-double almost every night, and yeah, well deserved to be on the All-Tournament team.
And he wound up with 50 points, I think, that week. I don't know how many rebounds he had. He had 70 rebounds maybe?
At least.
65, 70. But Taylor was selected to the All-Tourney team, and this is the first time we've had a chance to mention that to you here this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, if you would like to watch and listen to the broadcast, you can head to YouTube. Just search Carterville Lions versus Quoin Indians. It should pop up. It's a live stream, and you got the radio feed all tied in there, as well as the Carterville Lion cheerleaders. Let's mention them. There's so much going on, Scott. This has been a busy, crazy busy week in high school sports. The Carterville Lady Lions, they travel to Troy Triad tomorrow. The sectional IHSA competition takes place. If they place in the top 5 in their division, they will advance on to the state competition next week in Peoria. I'm going to Troy Triad bright and early in the morning. Hopefully I'm going to state next weekend. I would love to. The Carterville went last year, wound up finishing 9th in the state, and they got a good squad this year. So a busy weekend as well. Also, we want to mention Carterville senior golfer Dakota Wiggs signed her letter of intent to play golf at John A. Logan today for Bill Glenn and the Vols, and congratulations to her. Just like I said, tons of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. Really not enough hands or minds or heads to go around to try to keep up with this stuff.
Both teams are at midcourt. The officials are ready. The ball is in the air, and the Carterville Lions, the Quoin Indians, come away with the basketball. Thank you for tuning in here on News Radio WJPF. DuQuoin in their road reds. They are moving from right to left here this evening, and Carterville is in their home whites here at Carterville. The ball is turned over by the DuQuoin Indians, the first turnover of the game, and Carterville has the basketball.
Well, a good job by Justin Johnson to get in the passing lane, knock the ball off the DuQuoin player out of bounds.
Blake Jackson is going to run the points here to start things off. Carterville's Dylan Moore across the free throw lane over to the left side. They get it down low to Luke Ford, and he is fouled and will go to the line and shoot two. And that's Carterville's going to work on getting that ball down low. You got two great big boys down there. Get it to them.
Carterville's definitely got the height advantage in this game. Going to try to pound it on the inside. Heap, who just got called for the foul for DuQuoin, he's a 6'4 senior. He's really their only big man they have, and I'm sure Coach Shane Hawkins would love to get him in early foul trouble.
Yes, he would, as Luke Ford hits the first free throw. Carterville is on the board here with about 31 seconds gone. The second by Ford is good, so Carterville's up 2-0. DuQuoin basketball. It is Ashton Smith, wears number 5, stops just short of midcourt, gets it to Caleb Vogel. And DuQuoin, they break the timeline. They get it down low to Braden Heap. He's got it, brings it back midcourt to Elliott Gross. Gross to Smith. Smith toward the right wing. Wants to get it inside. They're going to set the offense. They set it at the right elbow. Kick it back out. Smith steps in to the right corner. Back to Smith. They bring it near side to Elliott Gross. He fires from 3. No good. Rebound by Taylor Heil. Carterville has the basketball. Jackson quickly across the timeline. Gets it to Taylor Heil. Hands off to Justin Johnson. Blake Jackson's going to fire it from 3 off the front of the iron. No good. Big rebound again. Once again by Heil. And the putback is good by the big guy. Carterville's up 4-0.
Boy, he just seems to be attracted to the basketball every time it goes up, whether it's on the offensive end or defensive end.
And DuQuoin having trouble getting across. It's a turnover. Once again, that's the second on the Indians. Here comes Blake Jackson into the paint. Kicks it out to Moore for 3. Good, and he's fouled. Man, he's got a knack of getting that foul, and he's going to the line.
Well, Dylan Moore is one of the Lions guards that really needs to step up his game offensively. He's counted on to hit those outside shots, and that's a good start.
We have a timeout that is called by the DuQuoin Indians head coach. This Lions broadcast, it is brought to you by Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating in downtown Carterville for over 30 years. Certified York dealer, and they service all brands. Call 985-2502, Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating.com.
Ball movement has been excellent to this point. I know we've played less than 2 minutes, but they found a wide open Ford underneath as he cut back door. More open for the 3 on the outside. This looks like a different Carterville team than what we saw a little over a week ago.
Already 7-0 here, and we're just a minute and a half into the game. And Dylan Moore is going to be going to the line to shoot the and one on the 3-point play. Nice. It was a nice, like you said, great ball movement. And when you get that open shot, taking it. And that's what you have to do. But you need to make that extra pass as well. And Carterville has done that so far. As Moore is at the line, shooting his and one. Ball is in the air, and it is good. Dylan Moore has 4 points. That's a nice start for the Lions. DuQuoin has the basketball once again. They're having problems. Carterville's come out with a press here to start defensively, and so DuQuoin's having some issues handling that press.
Yeah, it's been a half-court trap when they get into the front court, and DuQuoin's already got 2 turnovers in the game.
Into the game for the Indians is Anthony Cole.
And that's the third turnover.
Another, yes. I didn't have Anthony Cole on my chart here, but we'll add him real quick. So it's another turnover on the Indians. That's the third. Carterville basketball. Blake Jackson across midcourt to Taylor Heil. Back to Luke Ford, who's out between the circles. Justin Johnson, top of the key to Blake Jackson. He's guarded by Anthony Cole. Over to Dylan Moore. Left-right dribble, gets it down low to Ford. He steps down inside the paint, put it up and good for Luke Ford. He's got 4. And Carterville is up 10 as DuQuoin is able to break the press by the Lions. The shot is put up by Shamar Adams, and that is good. That's the first point for the Indians.
DuQuoin putting on full court pressure. I know they know Carterville's had trouble with that.
Carterville gets it down low. Luke Ford gets the easy bucket for the Lions. And, man, he is rolling right along. He's got 6 of the 12 for Carterville. DuQuoin trying to break the press. They do. They find Adams down low. He gets it over to Heap. His shot is put up, and he's fouled. And is going to go to the line and shoot free throws for the Indians.
Go back to the last bucket by Luke Ford. DuQuoin, after scoring their first basket, went into a full court press. Carterville treated the zone press like you should. Keep your head up, look for the open guy, do not try to dribble through it. They made a couple of passes, found Ford wide open underneath the glass, and got the easy basket.
Braden Heap misses the first free throw. Checking out, Ashton Smith. Checking in is, I believe that is Donovan McBride, wearing number 21 for the Indians. The second one by Heap is no good, and Taylor Heil grabs, I believe that's his 3rd rebound of the game.
Your math is very good tonight, Mr. McKenzie.
No, it's a short memory, but we're only 2.5 minutes in, so that's all gone now. Heil gets it to Ford. Ford to Blake Jackson, gets the pick. Jackson dumps it back to Heil, over to the free throw line. Johnson runner no good. Rebounded by Shamar Adams. DuQuoin is on the run. They get it down in the paint. The shot is blocked out of bounds, and it's going to belong to the Indians.
Carterville's been very active on defense. They start out in a man, then went to a zone. They've looked good so far.
As they get the ball inbound to Donovan McBride. That is Caleb Vogel. Drives down the lane. Thought he traveled. No call, but it's out of bounds. I'm going to say it's a charge. And who took that charge? Justin Johnson. And let me tell you what, that is something that Coach Shane Hawkins is very happy about. He jumped up clapping those hands.
Well, Johnson is already responsible for at least one of DuQuoin's turnovers. Again, he's a guy that you may not see big numbers in the box score, but he does a lot of good things for this team.
And so Carterville has it in the front court. Dylan Moore with the left-hand dribble. They work it over to the left side. That is Blake Jackson. Back to Moore between the circles. Justin Johnson, right wing. Blake Jackson dumps it down low to Heil. It's tipped away. That's the first turnover on the Lions. Quickly the other way. That is, I believe that is McBride that gets the bucket for the Lions. 4 points on the board for the Indians as Luke Ford takes it right to the rack. He gets another. He's got 8 points here for Carterville, and he's playing like a man possessed out there.
DuQuoin does not want to cut him all off on the baseline. Either they don't think they can or they don't want to get a run over.
Heap's shot is no good for 3, and Carterville is on the run, and Justin Johnson is fouled. Let me tell you this about Luke Ford. We talked about it in the pregame. Lovie Smith from the Fighting Illini flew his plane down here and came and visited Luke here today. He was starstruck and just couldn't believe that Lovie Smith came to see him. And Brett Dial, the AD, said, expect Luke Ford to have a big night. He was pretty pumped after today, and so far he's got 8 of Carterville's 14, and it's turnover on the Lions, and it's going to belong to the DuQuoin Indians.
Yeah, well, I remember when I was in high school, I had a big-name coach come and look at me. Oh, by the way, he came to my house. He was lost. He was looking. He needed directions. But I did have a big-name coach come by. I'm just kidding. It's Paul Bear Bryant, by the way.
There you go. I saw him in Forrest Gump. He was impressed with Forrest Gump.
Yes.
DuQuoin basketball. As it is Anthony Cole gets it down into the paint. That is Woodside. Cole's going to fire from the top of the key and hits nothing but the bottom of the net for the Indians. That's a nice shot, though, Mr. Cole. Carterville having some issues getting the ball into the front court. They do. As it's Justin Johnson finds a wide open Valerius who just checked in. His shot goes up, in, out, no good, and we have a foul on Grant Garby. I believe that's going to be on Garby. No, he was fouled. They're going to say it was on Braden Heap. That's the second on Heap here in this first quarter. He checks out, and there's a substitution coming in, so it's going to belong to the Carterville Lions. Dylan Valerius triggers the inbound for the Lions. Better hurry. 5 seconds. Gets it into the backcourt to Blake Jackson, and he controls. 2:53 remaining here in the first quarter. It's a 7-point lead, 14-7 for the Lions. Blake Jackson wants to get it to Heil. Needs to get some help. Heil's really fighting down low. Gets it on the block. Shot is short. No good. Rebound comes out to Johnson. Johnson from about 10 feet. His shot is no good. And the rebound is controlled by Will Woodside of the Indians. Into the front court. The Indians go. That is Ashton Smith. Drives into the paint. Dumps it down low. It's tipped away by Blake Jackson. And it's going to belong to the Quoin Indians.
Yeah, good anticipation by Jackson. He saw that pass was going to be coming to the baseline and couldn't corral it. Did knock it out of bounds.
2:23 left, and Brendan Beasley is going to check in for the Lions and come in for Taylor Heil. This is the first time Beasley has been in the game here this evening. It's Indian basketball, and we have another turnover as Anthony Cole took a couple of extra steps. It's a turnover on the Indians.
Only legal in the NBA. 5 turnovers now for DuQuoin. Carterville's done a pretty good job of taking advantage of the early turnovers by the Indians.
What's the big difference as well? Carterville only has 2 turnovers here, 2 minutes left in this first quarter. That has been an issue for them last week at the Midwinter Classic. Grant Garby has it between the circle. Dylan Valerius over toward the left side. He's guarded by McBride. Now to Garby. Garby left-hand dribble, and he double dribbles. That's the 3rd turnover. I don't mention turnovers again because I think I jinxed them.
I was hoping Garby would not put the ball on the floor because I knew that if he did, it was going to be a violation, but that is the 3rd turnover by the the Lions.
Carterville had the trap here on the left side, but DuQuoin gets it away. The shot is up and good by Shamar Adams. That's a 3-pointer from the right baseline, and he's got 5 points for the Indians. Carterville's Justin Johnson fires from the left elbow, and that is good. That's his first points of the game. So it's 16-10. Carterville on top, 6-point lead.
We've got to get Valerius for a push on the baseline. He was going after a pass from one side of the court to the other. Just couldn't get there in time.
And that's his first foul of the game.
And another DuQuoin turnover. Their 6th.
That is the 6th of the game for the Indians. So it's Carterville basketball. We have 1:23 left here in the opening quarter. Dave McKenzie, Scott Hudson. Carterville basketball. Blake Jackson, top of the circle. To Grant Garby, takes it into the paint. His little jump shot's no good, but he's fouled before the shot. They're going to say it was on the floor, and it's going to be possession of the DuQuoin Indians, or the Carterville Lions, rather.
Yeah, both teams have kind of gone small right now. This isn't a normal lineup that you would see for Carterville, but I think guys like Valerius and Garby probably have earned the right to get a little bit more playing time based on what happened up in the midwinter last week.
Yeah, DuQuoin already, they are using a ton more players than they used the first time we saw them. And in Perry County, of course, we talked about it. Lamonte Doherty is out with a foot injury, maybe back within a couple of weeks, but DuQuoin is going deep on that bench. Carterville has the basketball. We're under a minute left here in the opening quarter, and Carterville showing some patience here on the offensive end. Maybe going to work it down for the last set. This is one of the things that they've had problems with, where they'll be running the offense, wanting to get that last shot, but somebody will fire it up. Unless it's a wide open backdoor cut, they want to hang on to it all the way down toward the end and try to work for that last shot. And so far, so good, as we have 22 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Carterville has it. Beasley over to Blake Jackson. 17 seconds on the clock. Jackson to Beasley. That is a turnover as he grabs hold of it. And it's the 4th turnover now on the Lions.
It looked like Carterville was going to get the last shot, and then a turnover near the center line is going to give it back to the Indians. DuQuoin could cut this lead to 4, even 3 with a 3, and really Carterville's dominated at least half of this first quarter.
10 seconds left as McBride has it. They work it over to Vogel. Vogel drives the baseline. He traveled, no call. Carterville gets a hold of it, turns it over. Beasley can fire it from at the clock. The shot is up and no good. But 7 turnovers on the Quoin Indians, and we end the first half with the Lions holding on to a 16-10 lead. You're listening to Lions basketball on News Radio WJPF. Let's go 60 here, please. 60. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by the City of Carterville. Mayor Brad Robinson and the entire City of Carterville are proud sponsors and supporters of Carterville Lions sports. Second quarter action just beginning. Carterville up 16-10.
Carterville shot 50% in the first quarter, 67% for Quoin, but Carterville had 6 more attempts.
Taylor Heil drives the left baseline. His shot is no good. Rebound comes off to Caleb Vogel. And Blake Jackson gets it, steals it from the Lions. That is the 8th turnover now on the Indians. And Justin Johnson to Beasley. Left-hand dribble, top of the key, kicks it out to Blake Jackson, left baseline. He's guarded by McBride. They bring it back the other side. Beasley toward the right wing. He's guarded by Anthony Cole. Justin Johnson wants to get it down low, gets it into the paint to Ford. His turnaround jumper is good. He had 8 points in the first quarter for the Lions. He's got 2 here in the second.
I've said it many times. He gets the ball in the paint, especially around the low block. Forget it. He's going to score unless you foul him.
Indians have the basketball. McBride over to Vogel. Now they work it to Ashton Smith, and down low they get it to Braden Heap. His shot is put up and good for the Indians. He's got 2 points. Into the front court, the Lions. Justin Johnson, left wing. Brendan Beasley, top of the circle, right side to Blake Jackson. 6:44 left here in the first half. 6-point lead, 18-12. Carterville working the perimeter. They'll work it down inside the paint if they get the opening, but they work it back to into the right elbow. Dumps it down low from Ford to Heil. Nice little give and go there by the Lions. Nice job by Carterville.
Yeah, high low.
Jackson. Swing pass near side to Blake.
Game's working tonight.
As the Indians, they get it into Ashton Smith. His pass is tipped away. Carterville controls, and it's thrown out of bounds off the Indians. And that's going to be another turnover. That is, 9 turnovers on Quoin.
9 turnovers, and really Carterville's done a good job of, most of those turnovers have been forced turnovers. Sometimes you have teams that just throw the ball away when somebody's not looking, but Carterville's done a good job of forcing those turnovers.
Absolutely. Putting the pressure on, and right now they're struggling with that. Carterville has it. Taylor Heil way out high, top of the circle, dumps it down low to Ford, and it's out of bounds. That's a turnover on the Lions. He was trying to get that little backdoor pass, but it's just a little bit too long.
Luke's tall, but he's not that tall.
Not that tall. As Quoin has it, Will Woodside, he gives it to McBride. He gets it to Anthony Cole. Back, top of the circle. Ashton Smith fires from the right elbow. That's good for Smith. That's 4 points for Ashton Smith here in the game.
Well, they've hit their last 4 shots from the field. Unfortunately for them, they've also got 9 turnovers.
5:29. It's a 6-point lead now. Into Ford from about 15 feet. He gives it to Beasley. Ford's really wanting that ball, though. He's feeling it as we've got to push. And talk about Luke Ford. He gets his first foul as he put leaned up against Will Woodside just a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I think the officials were watching that battle between those two. Of course, Woodside gives up several inches, but the turnover gives the ball back to the Indians.
First turnover here in the second quarter for the Lions. They've got 5 on the game. Just over 5 minutes remaining here in the half. DuQuoin into the front court. McBride has it, and that is going to be Woodside that fires from 3, no good. Bounces off the top of the backboard, and the ball is going to belong to your Carterville Lions.
DuQuoin's got a very quick team on the floor right now. Carterville's got to do a little bit better job of defending on the perimeter. DuQuoin's been getting some open looks.
Shane Hawkins yells instructions to his Carterville Lions. Beasley takes it toward the right side, brings it back between the circles to Blake Jackson. Jackson fakes the shot, dumps it down low to Johnson, finds Ford cutting across the lane. Beasley with the right-hand dribble back to Johnson toward the right wing. Luke Ford dumps it down low to Heil. He's fouled before the shot, and Taylor Heil is going to go to the line and shoot
1-1. I think
so. It should be the 1-1.
Well, Taylor just got the ball and he threw it up high to where Ford could go get it, and DuQuoin has a small lineup on the floor right now. So just throw it up, let the big guys go get it, and then see if the Indians can stop him from scoring.
As Heil hits his first free throw. He's got 5 points here in this ball game. 4:30 remaining in the second quarter. The second from Heil is nothing but the bottom of the net. That's huge.
Got to hit those free throws. They count just as much in the first half as they do the second half.
Luke Ford is going to take a breather. Checking into the game, Dylan Valerius wearing number 44 for the Carterville Lions. DuQuoin into the front court. They break the timeline toward the right side, and we have a whistle and a foul. I think it's going to be on Taylor Heil. It is on Taylor. That's his first of the game. I didn't see exactly what happened there.
I guess Heil and Vogel
tied up a little bit. So that's the first on Heil. Into Vogel, in the paint. He puts his shot up, no good. It was short, bounces around, and Heil controls, and we have a foul on Anthony Cole of the Indians.
Vogel's a very good athlete. Of course, he was their starting quarterback on their DuQuoin team that went deep into the playoffs. He's also a very good athlete. He tried to go in the paint. He tried to draw Heil into a foul. And what actually happened is Vogel just took an off-balance shot that he couldn't get to go.
So at the line is going to be Taylor Heil. He's shooting the 1-and-1 once again. It's a 22-14 lead. First free throw bounces in. Good touch from Mr. Heil. 23-14. He'll get the bonus here. 8 fouls on the Indians in the first half. Second from Heil, bounces off the iron, no good. Rebound is controlled by Anthony Cole. DuQuoin has it into the front court. That is Shamar Adams. Now to Woodside, back to Adams. Kicks it back to Woodside. He brings it to the middle, over to Ashton Smith. Smith puts the ball on the floor, and it's tipped away. That's another turnover, the third here in the second quarter. Beasley's on the run for the Lions. Smartly backs it up as DuQuoin was able to get back quickly. Beasley with the right-hand dribble toward the right side, looks toward Shane Hawkins. 3:40 remaining here in the second quarter. Dylan Valerius on the right wing. Dylan Moore, Valerius, the two Dylans, twin Dylans, we'll call him. Johnson gets it over to Beasley. Beasley's going to fire from 3, nothing but the bottom of the net for Brendan Beasley. That's a big shot. We like seeing that.
Moore got the first 3 of the game for the Lions. Beasley gets their second.
And that was with 3:20 left here in the first half. And another ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, ball knocked out of bounds by Taylor Heil, out right in front of Shane Hawkins, the Carterville bench. Heil's having to guard Vogel right now. Vogel's more of a perimeter guy. Can go inside, but you're going to see Taylor probably play more defense on the perimeter tonight than he has in quite a while.
He's having to come out above the 3-point line as DuQuoin runs their offense. McBride has it on the right elbow, finds the cutting Elliott Gross, and his shot falls for the Indians. That's his first bucket of the game. 2:57, just under 3 minutes left here in the half. Beasley, shake and bake, top of the key. Gets it to Valerius, wearing number 44. Dylan Moore back to Valerius on the right wing. throws it over to Blake Jackson. He fires from 3 off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound comes off to McBride for the Indians. Gets it to Woodside. He drives the right side, just throws it at the rim, no good, and Jackson pulls down the rebound. 26-16, 10-point lead for your Lions. They've looked good here so far in the first half. Beasley has it, back to Moore, toward the right side. Now back to Beasley, yells out instruction as he's picked up defensively by Anthony Cole. Back to Moore, down low. They get it to Taylor Heil. His little putback is good. He's got 2, 4, 5, 7 points here in the second quarter.
Well, the entry passes have been very, very good tonight by Carterville. The one time Heil overthrew Ford and went out of bounds, a Lions turnover. But other than that, Carterville's been patient on offense. They've waited till either Heil or Ford have come open in the paint or on the baseline. They've got them the ball, and more times than not, they've scored.
Taylor Heil has been called for his second foul, so he's going to head over to the bench here with 2:04 left. Luke Ford checks back in for the Lions. He has 1 foul as the inbounds pass comes out into the backcourt. That is Elliott Gross. He's guarded by Moore. Gets it down into the paint. That is Woodside. He's fouled before the shot, and looks like he's going to go to the line. They're going to say it was on the shot, so he'll go to the line and shoot 2. That'll be Will Woodside.
This DuQuoin team may be void of height, especially with Doherty out of the lineup now, but they've got some quickness, and they're a fairly young team, and I'm sure Coach Barrington's looking at this. Obviously he wants to win every game, but he's also looking at it as I'm going to get these young underclassmen some playing time that's going to benefit them next year or in a couple of years.
Will Woodside hits his first free throw, so he's going to get the second one here. 9-point lead for your Lions. Second one is no good, and the rebound is controlled by Valerius for the Lions. Here comes Beasley wanting to run. Blake Jackson on the right side. Wants to get it to Ford, and it's tipped away. That's the second turnover here in the second quarter. Carterville gets back, and we've got a foul by Blake Jackson. That is going to be the first, as he was anticipating the shot went up and over the DuQuoin player.
Yeah, the DuQuoin player, Cole, probably looked up and all he saw was the bottom of Blake Jackson's sneakers.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, this isn't going to end well.
Are those Air Jordans? 1:42 remaining.
I never had a problem with that, Dave, because I have a 2-inch vertical jump.
That's true. I've seen you jump, and
it's not pretty.
It's not even 2 inches anymore. As the first free throw is no good from Anthony Cole. Carterville has it in the front court. 1.5 minutes left. Down to Luke Ford. Right block. As he's pushed from behind, gets it to Moore. Moore now to Beasley. Beasley wants to shoot. Passes it up. Finds Ford down in the paint. The shot is up. It's good. And the foul. And is going to go to the line for the and one.
Ford got double teamed right before that basket. He was smart enough to kick it out. Carterville reversed the ball to the other side. Ford got open in the paint. And then he does what the big man does. He got the basket, drew the foul.
Anthony Cole is charged with the foul. That's his second. Luke Ford is at the line, shooting the and one. Ford has 12 points here in this first half. Now he has 13. And that's with a 1:22 left here in the first half. Ball belongs to the DuQuoin Indians. Man, he's having a nice first half.
He's playing well.
He's a little pumped up, apparently.
I would think so.
We have a foul in the backcourt as Ashton Smith was driving across the timeline. Fouls on the Carterville Lions, and that's going to be on Valerius, and that's going to be the third on number 44.
Yeah, you're talking about Ford. I mean, obviously probably a little starstruck with everything that's happened this week. Stop and think about it. He's had the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, ACC all interested in him.
MBC came in today to do. Eastern Illinois came in as the free throw from Ashton Smith is good. He gets the bonus. With 1:16 left here, Smith is at the line, shooting the second. He's got 5 points in the game for the Indians. Second free throw from Ashton Smith is up and good.
Halftime score, Benton 29, Heron 26 up in Franklin County.
Be a good ball game. 1:10 left here in the first half of this conference game. Of course, Carterville 4-1, conference leaders right now, tied with the Pinckneyville Panthers with that 4-1 mark. And this would be a nice win for the Lions, especially coming off the West Frankfort Midwinter Classic. Carterville has a 31-19 lead. We're at 45 seconds left in the first half. Joining us on our halftime show is going to be Megan Barrett, who last night, the point guard for the Lady Indians, scored her 1,000th point. Shane Hawkins wants to call a timeout. It's a 30-second timeout. This Lions broadcast, it is brought to you by Artworks in Carterville, specializing in custom graphics and apparel. You can visit them today at their location on West Plaza Drive, but they're getting ready to move across Route 13 over on Commercial Drive, right next to Tequila's, and they offer in-house embroidery, proudly supporting the hometown Lions. And don't forget, you can always go online, visit artworkscustomgraphics.com.
Carterville's had a good first half. They want to finish this strong. They had a little bit of a hiccup in the first quarter, about midway through the first quarter, but other than that, they've pretty much done what they've wanted to do. They have turned the ball over 7 times, but they've also created 10 turnovers and gotten some big points off of those turnovers.
Shane Hawkins done talking to his Carterville Lions. It's Lions basketball on the far sideline. Heil triggers the inbounds. At the half, Althoff leads Carbondale 34-29. Here it's 31-19, Lions with the lead, heading toward halftime. Once again, Megan Barrett is going to join us on our halftime show. We'll spend a couple of minutes talking with her about her big game last night and a little bit about her career here with the Lions, as we have under 15 seconds left, 10 seconds ready to go. Carterville working for the last shot. Beasley toward the right wing. He looks top of the key, gets it to Jackson, 4 seconds, back to Beasley, steps into the paint, runner, right hand layup is no good, and that's how we end the half. It is 31-19, Carterville on top of the Quoin Indians. Our Crystals Catering halftime show is coming up next. You're listening to Lions basketball on News Radio WJPF. Let's go 2 minutes here, please. 2 minutes.
I'll let her sit here.
Okay. Got it all. We're playing better. We're playing better. Back at Carterville with Dave McKenzie on Friday night. It's halftime here, and the Quoin Indians down 31-19. Carterville looked pretty decent here in this first half.
Very good showing by the Lions coming off that disappointing midwinter. Carterville shot 55% in the first half, 58% for the Quoin Indians, but Quoin only had 12 attempts in that first half. One of the big keys, Quoin, 10 turnovers in that first half, Carterville 7. Carterville out-rebounded the Indians 9-5. Carterville led in rebounding by Taylor Heil with 4. Quoin had 5 players with only 1 rebound. Another big stat in that first half, Quoin did not have 1 offensive rebound, so it was 1 and done for the Indians in that first half.
Carterville winds up getting a big win, Scott, over Nashville, number 7 ranked team in the state, and one of the key players and one of the for the Lions is Megan Barrett, who plays point guard. But Megan, it was a big night for you as you wind up scoring your 1,000th point during a basketball game. What's your thoughts on that?
I was really excited about it, and I knew I only had 7 left, so that was the only thing going through my mind all game. So I didn't get off to a great start, but after I got my 1,000th point, it was all happy after that. It was all good.
I watched you in that first half. You could tell you were just a little bit nervous as that game started, weren't you?
Yes, I was very nervous because I knew I only had 7 left, so I kept on, every time I would score a free throw or a layup, I would just count it down, and I was just off the whole night until after I scored it, then it just felt normal to me.
That 1,000th point came on a free throw. Now, would you have rather scored it on a layup like you got the majority of your points, or did it matter? You just wanted to get it done?
I wanted to get it done, but I would have rather had like a layup or an outside shot, but a free throw works too.
Let's talk about your Lions. That was a huge win for Carterville. Carterville now, 21-3 on the season after that win. That clinched the title, the conference title for the Lady Lions.
It's a big thing, like, for me to happen, like, for this to happen my senior year, because it's the first time in school history it had ever been done that we'd won the conference outright. And so for us to break it my senior year, it means a lot to us.
Is there one game, in you've been a 4-year starter and you've played hard and you're just one of the top athletes here at the school, but is there one game that on the basketball court that really stands out to you where you was like, oh man, that was my best game?
If I had to choose my best game, I think it would be against West Frankfort for the regional home, either 1 or 2 years ago. And I had, I think, 25 points or something like that. And I just, like, coming into that game, that was probably one of the best games I've ever had, because we all shared the ball and we all scored in transition.
Looking at your team, not a lot of games left before you go to the postseason. What's the mindset of the team? Because you've beaten bigger schools like Carbondale, like Mount Vernon. You just knocked off a state-ranked team. I mean, you have to feel like you can take on all comers.
Yes, we've definitely beaten some really good teams, but then we've also lost to some teams that I don't think we should have had lost to. But I hope that we end up going far this postseason, because it would really mean a lot to me.
Well, you're setting in good shape. That was a big win last night over Nashville. Like we said, the number 7 team in Class 2A. And rankings for Carterville for the playoffs getting ready to come out. And they're not far off for you guys. You've got 3 more regular season games, is that right?
Either 3 or 4 regular season games left.
And it's going to start, the postseason is going to start here in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And, you have to feel good going into that postseason.
Especially after this win against Nashville, how well we played, I feel very confident in our team to hopefully go far.
Let's talk about a couple of the other players that you have out there. Janae has been, she's just been awesome. And,
yes.
and having that athleticism that she has is just amazing.
Janiyah on our team is honestly like one of probably the best rebounders. No matter where the ball is, she'll go and get it.
Yep.
She just happens to find it every single time. And she's very strong about finishing and getting the ball and going with it. And so that's a big boost in our team.
And one of the other things too about her, she's only 14. She's just a
Exactly.
freshman.
She's gonna get so much better.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That is Megan Barrett joining us. She got her 1,000 point last night against the Nashville Hornets. I just wanted to have you come up so we can say congratulations. What a great career you've had. But let's not stop here. Let's keep going.
Let's keep it going.
Bacon Bear joining us on our halftime show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue. Carterville leads it 31-19 over DuQuoin. You're listening to Lions basketball on News Radio WJPF. Let's go. 2 minutes here. 2 minutes here, please.
Thank you so much. Customers trust, and they welcome the opportunity to earn yours. No job is too big or too small for Charlie's. Ask about their preferred service agreement for any brand and how it saves you money. Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating is a certified York dealer located in downtown Carterville. Call 985-2502. Online at charliesairconditioningandheating.com. Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating, proudly supporting the Carterville Lions.
Family Drugs, your local Healthmark pharmacy, where their pharmacists take the time to get to know you and personally make sure that any questions or concerns raised by their employees are efficient. They do their best to make sure each patient leaves satisfied. Offering free delivery, drive-through windows, best prices on generic brand drugs, and accept Medicare, Medicaid, and most other insurance plans. As a sister store to our other Healthmark pharmacies, Logan Primary Pharmacy, Inherent in Carbondale, Family Pharmacy, Family Drug offers you the same services. Healthmark, caring for you and about you. When it comes to banking, Banterra is the change you want to make. I'm Jeff Spieth, Market Executive for Banterra, and you should know that our top priority is personal service. It's why Banterra is the region's largest, locally owned community bank. We offer convenient online and mobile banking, mobile check deposit, online mortgage services, and have 25 Southern Illinois branches to serve you. Banterra Bank, proud supporter of Southern Illinois high school sports. Member, FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you first started driving, you probably didn't realize the importance of maintenance for
Dante, it would really help me if you can play the bump music when you're bringing it back to us. If you can find it there on the hotkey page, should be up on the right-hand side. Thank you, bud. Back at halftime, we're just seconds away from second half action. Carterville leads at 31-19, Scott.
Well, Carterville had a very, very good first half. One of their best halves of basketball in the last probably 5-6 games. DuQuoin will get the ball to start the third quarter. Carterville with a nice lead, but you can't rest on what you did in the first half, and I'm sure Coach Shane Hawkins told his team, you got to play like this game's tied.
Failed to mention that the Carterville JV knocked off the DuQuoin JV. Good ball game, 48-47 in the action a little bit earlier. The Indians have the basketball. Vogel drives the lane. He's fouled, and he's fouled by Taylor Heil. That's going to be the third on big number 5-0, and Caleb Vogel is going to go to the line and shoot 2 free throws.
And usually Taylor Heil is one of the Carterville Lions players that's never in foul trouble, even with his size, banging with the big boys underneath. But he's picked up his third, and I'm sure Coach Justin Barrington of DuQuoin, a Carterville native and a pretty good basketball player in his own right, probably knows that he wants to get at least one, if not both, the big guys for Carterville on the bench.
The second one by Vogel is good. He missed the first, and that is the first point of this second half. 31-20, the 11-point Lion lead. Beasley brings it across the timeline, takes it to the right side, right-hand dribble, wants to get it to Taylor Heil, brings it back top of the circle. Blake Jackson takes it left side, down low to Luke Ford. His little bank shot just a little too strong, and it is Heap that comes away with the rebound for the Indians. He doesn't miss those too often.
Not very often.
Vogel's going to fire from 3 from the right side off the front of the iron. No good. Out of bounds. They're going to say it's off of Carterville, and it's going to belong to the DuQuoin Indians.
I think for DuQuoin, what they have to do, they got to cut down on their turnovers. They shot the ball well from the field, but too many times they were turning the ball over.
Ashton Smith triggers the inbound, gets it to Gross. Down low, they get it to Heap, and he's able to force the ball into the bucket here. He's got 2 points. It's 31-22.
Yeah, Heap got on the inside of Ford and backed Ford off the basket and got the easy kiss off the glass.
Beasley steps across midcourt, across the Carterville logo, gets it to Taylor Heil. Heil out top to Luke Ford. They run up high, outside the three-point arc. 6:45 remaining here in the third quarter. Beasley to Jackson, over to Johnson on the left side, into the paint to Ford. He gets it down low to Heil. Little bank shot is good for Taylor Heil. High-low work there.
Yeah, Ford and Heil are doing damage on the inside tonight.
They are. That is the 9th point for Taylor Heil, as we have a foul out front on Luke Ford as he put a hand on Caleb Vogel. That's going to be the second on Luke Ford.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to see your big men do is foul out on the perimeter, especially beyond the three-point arc. Luke got a little bit too carried away with his defense, but it's only his second, so not foul trouble yet.
Second, or 6:27 left here in the third, as Smith takes it in. He walked with that, and they're going to call him on the travel. That is the first turnover. They had 11 in the first half, and that's their first here in the second.
Yeah, Smith had the right idea. He got everybody looking to the outside, spun to the inside, but took one too many steps.
Beasley with the left-right dribble in the backcourt across midcourts. Guarded by Shamar Adams over to the right side. Blake Jackson takes it into the paint. Little 12-foot runner is good for Blake Jackson. Believe it or not, that is his first bucket of the game for the Lions.
Well, they've done a good job of keying on him on the outside, but he hasn't forced anything, and that's good.
As the Indians have trouble with the press in the backcourt, we have a travel, another turnover, the second here in the third, called on the Indians.
Well, that's twice now DuQuoin has picked the ball up just inside the front court. That's the last place you want to pick up the ball. You're going to get double teamed, and he couldn't dribble through. He tried to move his way through and walked.
Don't forget, if you would like to watch the game, you can flip over to YouTube. Watch our live stream here, and you have the radio coverage as well. Appreciate everybody that's watching there, and thank you for listening here on News Radio WJPF. Blake Jackson across the free throw line has his pass tipped away, but Jackson's able to track it down. Carterville controls. Justin Johnson into Luke Ford toward the right side, into the paint. Little 12-foot jumper, no good. Rebound is out of bounds, and it's going to belong to the Carterville Lions.
Yeah, Ford missed the shot, then would try to go through a DuQuoin player to get his own rebound. May have caught a break, not getting a foul call, but it will stay with the Lions.
Carterville has it. Justin Johnson, left side. Now it's out top to Blake Jackson. Gets it to Heil. Back to Jackson. Wants to get it to Ford. Does on the right block. His shot is up, and he's fouled. And he's going to go to the line and shoot two as the foul is on DuQuoin's Braden Heap.
Now, even though Heap kept his hand straight up and he's arguing that fact to the official, Ford does a good job of initiating the contact, not to the point where he's going to get called for a charge, but just enough that he draws contact, and normally the foul is going to be called on the defender.
Luke Ford is at the line shooting two. The first one is good. Luke has really improved his free throw shooting as well, as he's been working on it. 5:15 left. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by Crystal's Catering and More. More than you expected, more memorable for your guests. Go online, visit crystalsgoodfood.com. Second one is no good by Ford. I jinxed him, apparently. And but look at that. He comes away with the steal, and then he has his pocket picked. Ball's on the floor. Whose is that? Justin Johnson fighting. Gets it to Beasley. That's another turnover. There go the Lions. Catches Blake Jackson on the run. The shot is no good, but he's fouled. And Blake Jackson is going to go to the line and shoot two.
Well, good job of the Lions noticing that they had the odd man rush once they got in the front court. Sometimes there's nothing there, you got to pull it out. But Beasley found Jackson going to the hole, didn't get it to go, but he did draw the foul.
Blake Jackson is shooting two. The foul is on Ashton Smith. The first free throw from Jackson is no good. That is the second foul on Ashton Smith. Checking out is going to be Luke Ford. He's going to get a breather, gets a hand clap from head coach Shane Hawkins. Jackson is at the line shooting the second, and it's good. He's got 3 points here so far. With 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. DuQuoin basketball. Carterville picks up the press once again, but they get it to Vogel. His pass is tipped away. The fourth turnover on the Indians. Carterville goes the other way. Dylan Moore, Brendan Beasley. Left-hand dribble. He's picked up defensively by Adams. Over to Moore toward the right side. Back to Beasley. Now to Johnson. And he's going to set again to Jackson, to Johnson, to Beasley. Way out high to Dylan Moore toward the right baseline. right wing, behind the back, brings it back to Jackson, wearing number 3, guarded by Woodside of the Indians. The ball goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover on the Carterville Lions.
Yeah, they called traveling on Heil. He got the ball down on the baseline, and unfortunately took extra steps.
Heron leads the Benton Rangers mid-third, 38-35. That's a good ball game, but another turnover here on the Indians. That's 5 now. Carterville in the front court. Blake Jackson to Dylan Moore, top of the circle. Johnson to Jackson. He wants to get it to Heil. Swing pass to Beasley. Steps into a 3. That's good for Brendan Beasley. And we've got a timeout that is called by the Quoin Indians. That's huge, and it's a 30-second timeout. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by the Bank of Carbondale's Carterville Banking Center. The Bank of Carbondale is proud to be a locally owned and operated community bank. Stop by and visit their friendly and professional staff at the Carterville Banking Center, located at 200 West Plaza Drive, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, a good third quarter by the Lions to extend their lead to 18 points. I think the biggest thing I've noticed about the Lions tonight compared to the last few games, their decision-making's been much better. It's
day and night.
It is night and day difference.
Yeah.
Their decision-making, they're letting the game come to them, especially on the offensive end. They're waiting till Heil and or Ford comes open on the inside. Then they make the entry passes. It's just been a much, much better played game by the Lions.
Carterville gets another turnover on the Indians, the 6th now, as Carterville takes it into the front court. 3:51 left here in the third quarter. Justin Johnson to Blake Jackson to Beasley, over to Dylan Moore, back to Beasley. And their patience has just been outstanding on the offensive end, as well as they're working the perimeter, making the extra pass, trying to get it down low. Heil's got his man on his back, and we got a turnover on the Lions. We have a foul, a blocking foul on Carterville.
I think it's going to be on Beasley setting a pick. That's Carterville's second turnover here in the third quarter.
That's the first foul on Brendan Beasley. So the Indians have the basketball. Once again, pressure picked up by the Lions defensively, but DuQuoin's able to break it. The ball's on the floor. JJ goes down and gets it. We got a jump ball. No, we got a timeout that is called by the DuQuoin Indians. It's a 30-second timeout as well, as head coach Justin Barrington gets the timeout. This Lions broadcast is brought to you by Charlie's Air Conditioning and Heating in downtown Carterville for over 30 years. Certified York dealer. They service all brands. You can call 985-2502 or visit online, charliesairconditioningandheating.com. Completely different team than we saw a week ago at the Midwinter Classic in any one of those games.
Well, Shane Hawkins has had about a week, not quite a week, but about a week to work on his team, work with his team. Probably, the old, what they say, KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. I think they got back to the basics, and it's really worked tonight.
Yep, fundamentals is what he wanted, and so far they've done a nice job here. There's a nice pressure by Blake Jackson, but they're going to call him on the foul with the hand check. I didn't see it, but it's going to be the foul on Jackson, his second.
A little aggressive out by the timeline, but hey, you'd rather see an aggressive foul than a lazy foul.
Vogel works it into Heap. Heap turnaround, kicks it out rather to Gross. He fires from 3, no good. Dylan Moore comes away with the rebound. Here come the Lions. Beasley on the run. Quickly to Justin Johnson. Over to Blake Jackson, who fires from 3. Yes! Boom! That's a big shot. Big shot, Blake Jackson. 43 points for your Lions here with 2:45 left. And 43-22, the 11-point lead. Indians have the basketball. Heap drives into the lane. Kick out pass to Cole. His shot no good. Heil gets the rebound. Carterville controls. Jackson across midcourt toward the right side to Justin Johnson on the right wing. He's guarded by Vogel. Now to Beasley. Now back to Johnson over on the right side to Dylan Moore. They bring it near side. Blake Jackson left wing to Beasley. Now to Jackson, who fakes the pass. Now back to Johnson. They're just working around the outside of the three-point line. Just over 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. 11-point lead for the Lions. Beasley toward the right side. Jackson straight up, top of the key. Right-hand dribble to Beasley. He's guarded by McBride. Now to the left side. Johnson, Beasley. Jackson, nice patience. Love seeing this. Ball movement, nobody standing around. Good defense by the Indians. They get the cutting Beasley, and he's fouled, and he's going to go to the line and shoot 2 free throws. I think Shane Hawkins was happy on that.
Yeah, and when you have a big league like Carterville does, you can be patient on offense. There's no reason to rush things. The clock's on your side. Just let the game come to you, and Carterville's done a very good job of that tonight.
That foul is called on Donovan McBride. That is the first foul on McBride here for the Indians. As Beasley fires the first free throw, that's good. 3, 6, 7 points now for Brennan Beasley. That comes with 1:44 left here in the third quarter.
Heil and Johnson out. Garby and Valerius into the game for the Lions.
Beasley has 1 free throw left. 12-point lead, can extend it to 13, and does. So it's Indian basketball. 1:45 left here in the third quarter. Nice pressure in the backcourt. Should have been a travel, not called. Vogel gets it in the front court, drops it down to Heap. He fires from 3 off the front of the iron. No good. Long rebound out across midcourt. And nice hustle by the Lions to get out and put pressure on the Indians. And they turn it over, and Beasley is fouled. Nice job. Shane Hawkins is a happy coach. This is what we've been missing for the biggest part of the season so far.
And it all started at midcourt. Beasley knocked the ball into the midcourt. DuQuoin went back, got the ball, but Beasley stayed with it. And he knocked the ball away, was pulled down by a DuQuoin defender. You're right. This is something that Carterville coach Shane Hawkins has not seen for several games.
So it's Carterville basketball as the foul was called on Elliott Gross of the Indians. Grant Garby has it, who just checked in. Jackson to Valerius, who just checked in for the Lions. Garby toward the right side, and he's hand-checked out top by Braden Heap. That is going to be the 4th now on Heap. And he's going to head toward the bench for Justin Barrington.
Well, he got one of those dreaded big men fouls out beyond the perimeter.
Out where he shouldn't be.
You don't want, well, that's fine if that's where your guy's at, but there's no reason to foul, especially when you're the only big guy on the team.
That's true. Carterville has the basketball. Valerius, as the clock works its way down towards 60 seconds left here in the third quarter. Garby to Beasley. Carterville works it around toward the right side. Garby back to Jackson. Jackson to the right side, drops it down to Moore. Moore to Beasley. Between the circles, between the legs, 47 seconds left. Cutting Beasley has the ball go out of bounds. They're going to say it was off of Beasley. It's going to belong to the Indians.
Yeah, even if Beasley would have gotten the ball on the baseline, he had nowhere to go.
Yeah. Not the best position to be in. So DuQuoin has a chance at the last shot here in the third quarter. They finally break the timeline. For the pass from Ashton Smith is tipped out of bounds by the Lions. It's going to belong to the Indians right in front of the Indians bench. Checking in, Connor Henderson checks in for Grant Garby. Shane Hawkins going 7-8 deep now here this evening. DuQuoin basketball. Vogel toward the right wing. Smith left side, back to Vogel on the right wing. He drives the right baseline, and we got a foul on Connor Henderson. As soon as he checks into the game, it's going to be the first. But the foul is on the floor, so it's going to be possession to the Indians.
Yeah, this game plan tonight has gone perfectly for Shane Hawkins.
As the Indians, the ball's turned over by the Indians once again. I've got 7 here in the third quarter. Under 20 seconds to go. Beasley, top of the key, left-right dribble to Dylan Valerius, who wears number 44. Dylan Moore has it now. Gets it to Blake Jackson. Jackson, top of the circle, steps into the paint, finds a wide open Dylan Moore. His shot is way short. 2 seconds, 1 second from midcourt is no good by Ashton Smith, and we end the third quarter. Carterville has a 13-point lead. Excuse me, a 23-point lead. It's 45-22. Carterville on top. You're listening to Lions basketball on News Radio WJPF. 60 here, please. 60. 3-point scored. It's like watching us last week.
Yeah, they had 1 field goal and 7 turnovers in the third quarter.
Wow. Back in Carterville, where we're heading to the fourth quarter, it's Dave McKenzie with Scott Hudson. And, man, I tell you what, DuQuoin only getting 3 points in that third quarter is like watching us last week.
Yeah, 1 field goal and 7 turnovers by the Indians. That's not a recipe for success.
It's a 45-22 lead for the Lions as
Jackson tried to throw the ball. I think it was between Moore and Henderson, and both those players thought it was going to the other, and it just went out of bounds in front of Shane Hawkins, who's still up and coaching like this game's tied.
And he's still got his jacket on.
Yes. What's up with that?
I don't know. That always comes off in the first 2 minutes of a game. I don't know what's going on. As we have a foul on the floor, I believe it may be called on, it's going to be on Dylan Moore. That is Dylan's first foul of the game. It's the 6th team foul on the Carterville Lions. Ford checks back in. Heil checks back in. Moore checks out. Henderson checks out. Hendo goes out. So it's the Indians basketball. As the pass comes off to Anthony Cole, leaves it for Smith. He fires from about 18, no good. And we have a foul on the DuQuoin Indians, and it's going to belong to the Carterville Lions.
DuQuoin only has 8 field goals in this game, but they've got 17 turnovers.
Beasley slips on the inbound. I didn't think his foot moved, his plant foot, but they say he traveled, so that's another turnover on the Lions. He just lost his footing. There's some moisture out there on the floor, some sweat, and so it's going to belong to the Indians. Smith is going to trigger the inbound, gets it to Cole. Cole now to McBride, back to Cole, down low to Smith. He drives the right baseline, tried to get it to Heap. Ball's tipped out of bounds off of Carterville. It's going to belong to the Indians.
Yeah, Blake Jackson got his paw in there and knocked it away from Heap. Indians remain with control of the ball.
7:17 remaining in this ball game. This is the first game of the second half of the River to River Conference schedule. Of course, Carterville 4-1 on the season. I believe DuQuoin is 2-3 in conference. And the pass by Smith, he drives the baseline. It's tipped off the back of the backboard. It's going to belong to the DuQuoin Indians. But Carterville 4-1, tied with the Pinckneyville Panthers for the conference lead.
Still have to go to Pinckneyville. Nashville has to come here, and of course, Carterville still has to go to Anna Jonesboro. So still some very interesting games coming up.
Also, I didn't realize this until last night, I was told. Maybe I'd heard it, I don't know. But here at Carterville's going to host the regional at this facility.
Yes.
And so I was talking with Brett Dial, the athletic director, last night. I'm sure I probably knew it. I'd just forgotten. As Heap gets the bucket and the foul for the Indians, and we'll go to the line to shoot the and one. But Carterville is going to be hosting the Class 3A regional here at this facility.
Yeah, and the pairings haven't come out. Somebody from this area is going to have to go up north to Centralia. I think that's where the other regional's at.
Yep.
So you're looking at Heron, Carterville, Marion, Carbondale possibly here.
As the free throw was missed, but it was Cole that got the putback. And it is 26 now for the Indians, 45-26, 6:30 remaining here in this game. So it was kind of cool. Last Saturday, Carterville, they hosted the cheer competition, had a great day. Carterville tries to get to where they can host some of these big events, and finally this year they're getting to do so. And I got to tell you what, Brett Dial and Todd Rogers and the staff and administration here at Carterville, they just do a great job with them. Just, you don't know if there's any issues at all. Luke Ford, he gets the ball down low, is able to put it up and in for the Lions. 47-26 Carterville. 5:50 remaining. The shot from Vogel's off the back of the iron, no good. Heap gets the rebound. His shot is blocked from behind. He gets his rebound once again, puts it up. He's fouled and is going to go to the line. No, they're going to say he traveled before the bucket. The official on the backside came in and told the official on the baseline, nope, He traveled before the foul. And, Justin Barrington is giving the third official an earful. He had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's been that kind of night for DuQuoin. Nothing's gone right for them. Of course, Carterville's saying, hey, welcome to our world from last week.
It is a 21-point lead for Carterville. Taylor Heil out top. He's guarded by Anthony Cole. Finds the cutting Luke Ford. Nice pass from Heil to Ford. Well, I love seeing that for the Lions.
And a lot of the Lions' points tonight have come in the paint. That's why they're shooting lights out from the field.
Yes, they are. Vogel has it, and we have a foul on the floor. Baseline official calls it. He's talking to Luke Ford. Ford said, I didn't do anything. But apparently so.
Well, if you're 6'7", you kind of stand out in the crowd. So
hard to hide.
It's very hard to hide.
He would be, let's see here. That's the third foul on Luke Ford. If you're going to play hide and seek, he'd be a good one to have to go against.
No kidding.
You're going to spot him. Heap is at the line, shooting the bonus, the one, and he makes the first.
Yeah, unless you're playing hide and seek in downtown St. Louis, with the skyscrapers there.
That's true.
But yeah, if you're in your backyard, that's a pretty easy game.
That is true. 49-27. And Luke Ford gets the rebound. The ball's on the floor. Beasley goes after it. It's after it. We got a jump ball that is called by the officials. Beasley, man, you want to talk about hustle points tonight. Brendan Beasley has earned the hustle award here for the Lions.
There's no question. And I think he'd be the first to admit that he really struggled in the midwinter, but he's coming out tonight. And he's done a great job on both ends of the floor.
Yes, he has. And, I like those hustle chart points you get. And that's anytime the ball hits the floor. It's, making diving plays, whatever. But he'll win that award tonight as Heap's shot is blocked from behind by Dylan Valerius. It's out of bounds, and they're going to say belongs to the Carterville Lions.
Valerius says, I'll play amongst the tall timber. I don't have a problem with that.
Number 44 for the Carterville Lions. 5 minutes left in this ball game. Carterville firmly in control. Could push their record to 5-1 on the season. Valerius has it over to Ford. Now to Beasley. Fakes the pass down low to the cutting Valerius. Back to Heil. Now to Johnson and Valerius on the right wing. Beasley out top. Man, their passes are so much more crisp. They're accurate. Just been a good ball game by the Lions here this evening. Luke Ford out high, back to Beasley. He wants to shoot, drives it down, now backs it out to Jackson, drives the baseline. Kick out pass to a wide open Valerius off the back of the iron, no good. Johnson gets the rebound. Carterville can reset. Valerius works it into Heil. Nice pass, and he's fouled from behind and is going to go to the line as that's going to be the 7th foul on the Indians. The bonus now for the Carterville Lions.
Carterville got the open three by Valerius, didn't get it to go. Johnson with the rebound, kicked it back out, right back into Heil, and he was fouled. He'll go to the free throw line.
That is Braden Heap's 5th foul for the Indians. He's going to check out. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 7 points for Braden Heap of the Indians. As Heil gets the first free throw to go. Got to hit those down the stretch too.
And I guess you could say with Heap in there having to battle the likes of Heil and Ford, he was in a heap of trouble all night long.
4:14 left here. Carterville has the 23-point lead. Now it's a 24-point lead for the Lions. DuQuoin basketball. Anthony Cole, they work it around to the far side. Caleb Vogel with the right wing. His pass is tipped away. I've got that as the second turnover on the Indians. Justin Johnson gets the run-out layup for the Lions. That's his 4th point of the game. Nice job by JJ.
Still playing good defense, still playing hard. That's what you want to see from your team in a blowout win.
Indians have it. We have a foul that is called on Luke Ford. He kind of just smiles at the official. That is going to be the 4th foul now on Luke Ford.
Luke looked at the official like, hey, do you know who I talked to this week? You're going to call that foul on me?
Lovey Smith come to see me today. He checks out. Shane Hawkins gives him the high five. Brendan Beasley gets a high five and a back slap from Shane Hawkins. And at the line, shooting free throws, it's going to be Donovan McBride for the Indians. As McBride misses the free throw. 3:40 remaining in this game. Pass into the paint. Garby, he's fouled on the shot, is going to go to the line and shoot 2. Nice job on the entry pass by the Lions.
Well, it's good recognition by the guards to see the guy when he's open, whether it takes 2 minutes off the clock to find the open guy or just a couple of seconds. As soon as they break open underneath, it seems like the Lions inside men are getting the ball.
Garby's first free throw is no good.
Luke Stritzel comes into the game for the Lions.
Shane Hawkins able to clear the bench for the Lions. Tyler Biddle checks in. Luke Stritzel. Connor Henderson checks in. Hendo's in. Second one from Garby is on the way. And that's good. GG gets his first point of the game. 3:35 left here. Indians have it in the front court. Don't forget, coming up, we're going to have our Joe's Lawn Care player of the game we're going to have to name as the shot is blocked by the Lions. Carterville takes the other way, moving right to left. Down low, Garby has the basketball. Gets it back to Tyler Biddle. That is Stritzel. Where's number 25? Shane Hawkins getting deep in the bench. Garby travels with the basketball for the Lions. Turns it over. That's the third turnover on the Lions here in the fourth.
Well, this is good quality time for these underclassmen because several of these, if not all, are going to be called upon next year to play quality minutes.
Absolutely. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Lions are right back in action here at home. The Benton Rangers. We haven't seen a score in a little bit.
Yeah, last I saw, Benton was up by 1 at the end of 3.
Maybe that's what it was, but they're going to be in town. Of course, they met in the Duster. Thomas, nice job defensively as the Indians turn the ball away. It's tipped away by Garby. Carterville in the front court. The shot put up by Stritzel, no good. Ball's on the floor. Biddle comes up with the rebound, tries to get it to Garby, and he's fouled from behind. That is going to be on Nick Cole of the Indians. But it was back, let me look at my sheets here. It was back on December 28th. It was a 55-38 win for the Benton Rangers. Like you said, they hit 8 3-pointers in that first quarter and just set the tone for the ball game. Carterville was never in it, and the Rangers, they wound up getting beat by Pinckneyville the following night.
Benton is a very good perimeter-oriented team. They have a lot of good guards, and they can light it up with anybody.
2.5 left in this ball game. I'm Dave McKenzie. That's Scott Hudson. Indians turn the ball over again. The ball hit Nick Cole right in the face. Went right through his hands. Hit him on the end of his nose, it looked like. I'd be out there crying. Again.
Calling the paramedics.
We've had this conversation.
Yes,
the Lions threw the ball
I think
away.
both of us would be laying on the floor, crying like babies, wanting to know where the paramedics were.
That's why we sat up here.
That's right.
We not down there.
That's right.
Playing any adult league basketball.
No,
Can't do it anymore.
No. I could play the half court to be the offensive end. I don't play defense anymore.
Just
Not
play,
that I ever did.
Just play the Xbox.
That's right.
That's it. 2 minutes left. 54-27. Lions in control here this evening. Tomorrow night's pregame show will start at 7:30. Tip-off is slated for 7:45, and should be a dandy ball game. I feel much better about that ball game after tonight's game. But looking forward to seeing the Lions and the Rangers. Shot is up and good. That is by Zane Vernier for the Indians.
Yeah, about a minute to go in the game at Benton. Benton leads Heron 51-43. So it looks like Benton's going to take control of the Ohio side of the River Conference.
Big win for them. I was hoping Heron could put some pressure on them, but not going to happen. The Indians turn it over, the 5th turnover, and a bucket in the foul by Josh Heap is good. He's going to go to the line and shoot the and one for the Indians.
This almost looks like the teams we saw in the JV game. A lot of these players played in the JV game. So the JV's saying, hey, we'll take a little extra playing time on a Friday night.
48-47, the Lions won that JV game this evening. So at the line is Heap. His free throw is off the back of the iron, no good. Tipped around, Garby comes down with the rebound. Tyler Biddle, wearing number 22 for the Lions, just over a minute left. To the right side, Stritzel to Henderson on the right wing. Gets it out top, Garby, right elbow to Biddle, back to Garby, now to Henderson. Back to Biddle. Top of the circle. That is Cody Richter that is into the game for the Lions. Carterville controls. Nice patience as we're under a minute and we have a timeout that is called so we can get Fidel Campbell in for the Lions. Also checking in is Austin Garby, Grant's brother. So Shane Hawkins is able to get every single Carterville Lion into this ball game here this evening.
Well, as I said earlier, game plan has worked to perfection. Start out fast. Carterville did that. Get a big lead. Rest some of your starters for the big game tomorrow night. And this has just been a very, very good performance by the Lions tonight.
I bet this is a much different post-game conversation
I
we
would
have
think
with Shane
so.
Hawkins as opposed to last couple of weeks. 42 seconds, and of course, Scott and I are going to choose our Joe's Lawn Care Player of the Game. Rain or snow, rain or shine, sleet or snow, call Joe. Our Player of the Game is coming up here on our Artworks Custom Graphics post-game show. 22 seconds left. Carterville showing some patience, but the double dribble on Garby. That's another turnover. That's the 6th turnover here in the 4th quarter. No worries. Carterville firmly in control. A 23-point lead, 54-31.
Yeah, Carterville, I've got them for 17 turnovers, but a lot of those have been in what we would call garbage time. So they've done a better job tonight of handling the pressure.
Centralia beat Marion 58-42. That's a final. 9 seconds left. The shot by the Indians, no good. Nice rebound by Fournier, I believe. Nope, that was actually Blaine Bradley gets the putback. And the game ends. It's 54-33. The Carterville Lions, a winner at home tonight. Stay tuned. Your Artworks post-game show is coming up next. You're listening to Lions Basketball on News Radio WJPF. Dante, let's run 3 minutes. 3 minutes here. I know we're way behind, so we'll try to work him in. Ford had 18. I tell you what, though, we almost need to give that to Beasley.
He played much better on both ends of the floor.
2 big threes. Pair of free throws.
He may have turned the ball over one time tonight, but I remember.
That was an unforced error.
Yeah.
I agree.
He did a much better job of that.
Back at Carterville High School on a Friday night, where the Carterville Lions, they just knocked off the Quoin Indians 54-33. Nice game by the Lions.
Led wire to wire. I mean, they did the things that they didn't do at the West Frankfort Midwinter. They played under control. I know Carterville had 17 turnovers, but a lot of those came late in the game after the game had already been decided. They took care of the ball. They went to their go-to players, Luke Ford and Taylor Heil on the inside. They did a lot of damage on the inside tonight. Entry passes were great. Defense was awesome tonight for Carterville. They created 21 turnovers, and a lot of times Carterville came down, especially in the first half, and turned those turnovers into points. When you go back to last week, what we saw, what Shane Hawkins saw, to what we were able to see tonight, night and day difference. This looked like a totally different team from last week. Whatever they did in practice this week, whatever Shane Hawkins said this week to this team, it worked. They look like the Lions team we saw before the midwinter.
Carterville was led in scoring by Luke Ford, who had wound up with 18. Taylor Heil, another big game for him. Saw some foul trouble early on, but he winds up with 13 points in the game. Brennan Beasley had 8 points for the Lions. It was Blake Jackson with 6, Justin Johnson 4, Dylan Moore had 4, and Grant Garby got on the board for the Lions. But we were talking about our Joe's Lawn Care, a player of the game. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, called Joe. I think in this ball game, we're going to give it to Brendan Beasley because that was a nice game, without a doubt. Had struggled at the West Frankfort Midwinter, but tonight, hustle plays, tons of hustle plays by Brendan Beasley for the Lions. Made great plays, wound up with 8 points. Didn't show it on the board, but just a nice all-around effort by the point guard for the Lions.
And your point guard has to be most nights one of your best players, no matter what level of basketball we're talking about. Beasley played it to perfection tonight. Yes, he was not the top scorer tonight, but he did not turn the ball over, or I should say rarely. Maybe one time where he slipped on some moisture on the floor, he turned the ball over. But he handled the pressure. He was able to break the pressure that DuQuoin showed at times, and he was able to distribute the ball, which is what you want your point guard to do. He made smart decisions. He contributed with 2 big threes. I agree. I think Brendan Beasley really played a smart game tonight, which is what they needed from their point guard.
Our Joe's Lawn Care player of the game, Carterville's Brendan Beasley. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, called Joe. We specialize in commercial and residential lawn care, landscaping maintenance, spring and fall cleanup, snow removal, property maintenance, bush hogging. They do everything. Rain or shine, sleet or snow, call Joe. 534-8148, owned by Joe and Lindsey McCann at Carterville. They do great work. It is Brendan Beasley, our Joe's Lawn Care player of the game. We're going to go on and take another break, and when we come back, hopefully we'll talk to head coach Shane Hawkins. It's next on News Radio WJPF. Let's go 2 here, please. We're in a break right now. Much better.
That's what practices look like. Now we finally have it to carry over into a game.
You didn't take your coat off until late in the fourth.
Took it off once in the first hour.
You didn't sling it like Bobby Knight. Well, he didn't wear a coat, but.
Pull that sweater over his head.
Bring it back after this. Let's bring it back after this. Back at Carterville, the Lions knocked off the Quoin Indians 54-33. A nice win for the Lions, and head coach Shane Hawkins joins us. Much better than we saw a week ago.
Yeah, no question. And I've said this for a couple of weeks now. Our practices have been really, really good. And I think finally tonight, maybe for the first time, we had carryover on a Friday night that resembled what Monday through Thursday looked like, and we got off to a good start. And the one thing we hammered home with our guys, the reason we got off to a good start is we played harder. We went and got loose balls. We took a charge. We went and got long rebounds. We ran the floor. We were pretty active defensively, whether we were in the full court or the half court, and hopefully now they understand that level you have to play at to be successful. It's a fine line between winning and losing, and hopefully we have an understanding of finally getting to that level of playing hard and executing at the same time. And if we can do both of those at a high level, then we're pretty good.
This is a game tape that, Coach, you could come back to if you need to as a point of reference for this team. You need to play like this. They showed patience. They made the extra pass. They worked the ball into the paint. They took what was given to them, and at the end of the game, they didn't force the issue. They let the game come to them. It was a nice overall win. You might have to be very, very happy.
Absolutely. And it's everything you talked about. It's everything we've talked about for a month now. I kept thinking we were close to having a breakout game like this. And we had glimpses of that, but we never were able to put it together for 32 minutes. And I thought tonight that is as close to 32 minutes as at a high level as we've played all year. And they deserve that because they put the work in. They deserve to have a night where they go out and make shots. We had a couple strawberries on hips and knees, and
good.
And that's what it's about. That's what it takes to win. You got to be able to sacrifice your body a little bit to go make that play that's maybe turns momentum or saves us a possession. And I couldn't be happy with our guys, no question.
Coach, one of the things that I noticed tonight, go back to the West Frankfort Midwinter. Your team did not get a lot of those extra opportunities as far as being able to score off of turnovers. Tonight, you created 21 DuQuoin turnovers, many of which in the first half especially, you were able to turn those turnovers into points, so that's something that has to be very pleasing to you.
Yeah, and you're right, but it also goes back, it's kind of I don't know if it's a double-edged sword. We've been there. We've been able to get into transition a little bit in the past, and we've botched 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s, and we've botched layups. And you play hard, you get a loose ball, you have a break, and you have numbers, and you get to the rim and you don't finish, and it's just a momentum killer. We've put on all that work, we get out and run, and we get a layup, and we kick it out of bounds, and we miss the layup, or we get fouled and then miss the layup and miss 2 free throws. And those things, they stop runs. Either your run to get back into a game or your run to pull away. And all those opportunities we've kind of kicked away in the last month. And we were able to finish at the rim a little bit better tonight in transition. And again, I just think a lot of it comes back to our aggressiveness and everything we did tonight. We played harder, and we were fortunate enough to we got open shots and we stepped up and made them.
To tomorrow night, the Benton Rangers roll into Carterville. What's the psyche of the team in the locker room, knowing they have that game coming up?
It should be pretty high right now for the fact that now we understand what it takes. Coming off a win, maybe we had the bad taste out of our mouth that we've had the last 8 days, or last 2 weeks, I guess. Know that we have a very good basketball team that's coming in here, a team that's very well coached. They shoot it extremely well. I think it would be an opportunity for our guys that they would kind of cherish. Things didn't go our way last time, and they blitzed us there in the first quarter. They shot it so well early, and we were kind of playing catch-up all night, and we could never stem the tide like we did tonight. We could never stop the run. We got stuff at the rim, kind of like we're talking about. We got stuff at the rim in transition or got it to our post players in that first game with Benton at the holiday tournament and couldn't finish. We could never stop that run, and we would miss opportunities, and then you're down 10, and another missed opportunity, and you're down 13, and it kind of snowballed. And we could never get that tide stopped. So I would think that we should have a little bit of momentum, should be feeling pretty good about ourselves. But we know we have a great task at hand tomorrow night.
54-33, the final Carterville win over the Quoin Indians. They pushed their conference record now to 5-1 on the season, 12-9 overall. And tomorrow night, as we said, the Benton Rangers come to town. Be a big game. Come on out and join in. Help support these Carterville Lions. Coach Shane Hawkins, nice win.
I appreciate it. And the last thing we told our guys before we took the floor tonight was we got a very good crowd. We had a very good crowd for a team that's lost 4 out of 5. And I challenged our guys to make those fans want to come back. You've got a great crowd. Don't go lay an egg tonight and then they don't come back.
Because you're going to need them.
Absolutely. Build off that. Go give them a reason to come back. And I thought our fans were great tonight. Our student section was good tonight. And, hopefully we give them another reason to come back tomorrow night and then the rest of the season because no doubt we need their support.
Coach Shane Hawkins.
Thanks, guys.
A happy camper tonight. 54-33, the Lions on top of the Quoin Indians. We will have Coach Shane Hawkins on our pregame show tomorrow night, and I like that Shane Hawkins. I like that.
Well, he's happy. I mean, you look at all the things that went wrong last week at West Frankfort, and there were several things that went wrong. Everything they did tonight seemed to turn to gold. They passed the ball better. They shot the ball better. They defended better. They created more turnovers. They had more hustle plays. They got more of those 50-50 balls, as they like to talk about. Everything Carterville did tonight, they did the right way. And I think that's what Coach Shane Hawkins is happy about. He's actually, maybe for the first time, one of the few times this year, he's actually seeing what he sees in practice carry over to the floor on a Friday and or a Saturday night. And that makes the coach happy, knowing that maybe his team's finally getting it, that they're finally understanding that the way you practice a lot of times translates to the way you play games. And this was a big win tonight. Now you get a Benton team that won a big conference game at home tonight. Will that take the steam out of their sails, so to speak, in that they've won the most important game for their weekend? That's a conference game. May have wrapped up the conference for them. Now they come to Carterville, a team they beat handily a little over a month ago.
Yep.
So do they come in here thinking, well, all we have to do is walk out on the floor? We'll see, but I think this win for Carterville really means a lot for the game tomorrow night.
54-33, that is the final. Again, our pregame show will start at 7:30. Excuse me, tip-off is slated for 7:45. Big win for the Lions. Again, our Joe's Lawn Care player of the game, Brendan Beasley. Just a nice hustle night for Mr. Beasley. Got on the floor, got after it, and nice to see this evening. Also, we want to thank Megan Barrett for joining us on our halftime show. Shane Hawkins joining us from our partner, Scott Hudson. For our producer, engineer back at the studio, Dante Hall. Buddy, you did great tonight. Appreciate it. And we'll be back with you tomorrow night. Carterville wins it 54-33. We'll talk to you tomorrow night from Carterville High School. Thank you for listening to Lions Basketball on News Radio WJPF.